Live. Welcome to PNRShow Season 4, maybe? Episode 14-ish? I don't know, it's been a while. But chill your nuggets. Here we come. And I lost the music. Smooth. Smooth. I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale and live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail. So bring me lager for life. I'd rather have lager than wine. Hey, this is the point where Rob would start talking and I almost forgot to. So here we go. Welcome to yet another episode of the Pint and No Return Show. I am Keith. I am here with Gary and Jeremy, and Rob, as you noticed, is not here. He's off vacationing in North Carolina, enjoying the summer in the, I don't know, there's a name for those hills that he's in. The Ozarks or something? I don't know what it is. Anyway, he's off there somewhere. But we got beer to drink, and we're thirsty, and it's been way too long since we did a show, so we're doing one anyway. How are you guys?
Great.
Great.
Says the man with technical difficulties.
We love Windows.
Windows is fun. Windows is fun. Man, I feel like I'm all kinds of white guy right now. I'm all like washed out in this light. I may have to see if I can adjust this on the fly.
I'm not sure how to break it to you.
There we go. What?
You are all kinds of white guy.
I'm just a big fat white guy. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying you may look like all kinds of white guy. Just you know.
Well, I didn't want to blind anyone on YouTube. So, I turned down one of my lights, so it's a little more bearable now. So,
let's see. Still no camera found. I'm trying. I give up.
Don't worry about it. Let's drink some beer. Finally, after way too long a wait, Keith managed to send out beer to everyone just in time for them to all go on vacation. So, Rob's still on vacation. Gary just got back from Europe. Jeremy got his, though, because he's loyal and doesn't go anywhere because he's Jeremy.
I just sit here.
And so we're going to do...
Just sitting here waiting for the show. That's all I do.
We're going to redo one we've touched on, I think, on the old show, and we've never done it on this show that I'm aware of. Well, maybe we did. I don't remember. But anyway, I know we've done it before as the four of us, and that is the Trogs, which is a New York brewery, or a Pennsylvania brewery, I believe, but East Coast brewery, Nugget Nectar Ale, which is their super hoppy, kind of a red ale or an amber instead of an IPA. But we've all had it. We really, really enjoyed it. It's the one beer from the East Coast the guys ask me to send them all the time. So I made sure I send extra.
Yes,
and this time it's in cans instead of bottles, which I'm hoping adds to the longevity of the storage ability of this beer. So let's see how the cans do, because I've had these, unfortunately, a little while.
I'm making a mess.
It does smell good.
It does smell delicious. Does this have a canning date on it? Oh, yeah. These a long time.
Yeah, if you found a canning date, you don't want to look at that.
Yeah, don't look at the bottom of the can, Jeremy.
Don't look at the bottom.
I'm not going to look at it. I looked at the website and it says available January through March. So.
Yeah. There's years involved too, though.
Yeah.
Like I said, I grabbed these a long time ago.
Wow. So we're having aged Nugget Nectar.
Yeah. And actually, that's something that me and my beer buddies here locally have talked about and attempted to do, was take this beer, because it's a little higher alcohol, and see what it was like aged. And the one thing we found in the glass bottles was it did not age, well, it aged fine, but it lost a lot of its hoppiness. So I'm hoping that by the fact that there's still a nose on this, that the cans kept the hoppiness in a little longer. So.
Yeah, that's one thing. Hops don't like to sit around. They will lose their hoppiness.
No. So let's give it a try. Let's see how the aged Nugget Nectar is.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And Prost for Rob. Pour one out for my brother. It's definitely lost some, but not all.
I'm not going to throw it away.
No, it's definitely not quite the sharp, spiky hop bomb it should be, but it's definitely held the hops a lot better than when we aged the glass bottles. When we aged the glass bottles,
it did make a difference.
Yeah, after a year, the glass bottle aging, there was no hops. It was just a straight up, almost like an amber ale. All the hops had gone. This still has a decent nose, and I would say it's somewhere around 80% of where it should be.
Yeah, it's
a good nose. Not a lot of hop flavors. It is more ambery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely got kind of tastes just more like an amber ale. The hop, I think the hoppiness is went away probably last January when this was a year old.
Yeah. So yeah, we're drinking this is a year and a half out of date, which tells you how long I've been sitting on this, because I actually, when I went to pull the rest of the beers together for this and put them away, I had forgotten these were in there. So my apologies. This is all my fault. But good to know, though, too, that the cans definitely helped it, though, which I think is good, because I think canning is important. I think cans are the way beer ought to be distributed. If you can't keep it in kegs, keep it in cans. I don't think glass bottles are really what it is, what it's all about anymore. And I think this is a good proof of that. So definitely worth drinking still, but not as good as it should be.
Yeah, it's definitely worth drinking. It's worth drinking a lot more. It's worth drinking a lot more than some beers we've had on this show.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Even fresh beers that we've had have been.
Well, my pledge is when we get this year's version out, I'll make sure we get it out to you guys when it's still in season.
Yeah, maybe that could be a off-show beer. I don't think. Although you know what, Rob may like this better.
I did send him. I got 3 6-packs. I sent you each one, and then I pulled one out of my 6-pack and sent it to him, because I didn't expect him to like it, even if it was still hoppy. But he probably would like this a lot more.
Yeah, he probably would like this better without the hoppiness that it normally has. So, I'm gonna probably have to do my rating based on whatever I have in Untapped, based on memory.
Well, you should rate the 1.5-year-old version.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's the aged.
We'll make note of it that, with an asterisk, that this is the 1.5-year-old canned version.
Yeah, maybe you can even add an version of an aged Nugget Nectar and really confuse people.
Yeah.
Trying to find what our lowest rated beer is, and it looks like here's one. It was a Kolsch from Saranac.
Oh, that Saranac pack was rough.
Yeah, that was this is. Oh yeah, the ginger pale ale is the lowest rating I'm seeing scanning through, and had a 1.75 overall rating.
Oh so, yeah, that was rough, if I recall.
That was the work of the devil.
Yeah, and which is too bad, because I actually like Saranac as a brewery, but that whole mix pack that I sent out to you guys, that was every one of those was not up to par with Saranac's normal brewing. So I don't know what happened there. They let the interns run the asylum. But yeah, so our rating on this, do we? I forget now. Do we wait till the end?
Yep.
Yeah. We wait till the end. Well, Rob's not here, so we can do whatever we want.
That's true. We can just take over the show.
Yeah.
Go crazy.
We should still wait till the end, which might actually be soon, since I looked at the show notes to see what the topics were. So,
I was hoping you guys had topics. Was I wrong?
Rob usually takes care of that, and he's not here.
I know, and I have been ridiculously busy at work lately, so I've had no time to do show stuff at work.
We can. See, Rob, we're lost without you.
We are. All right, let me.
Should we do quick picks and then make up some topics real quick, or should we just make up topics on the fly because we're that awesome?
Hang on, I'm gonna.
I can tell you how bad the beer is in France, and then you guys can look for topics.
Tell us about the beer in France.
Yeah, what's the beer like in France? How's the craft beer scene in France? You never hear much about French craft beer.
The best beer I had in France was from Belgium, which is not very far. I mean, they're
and Belgium known for good beer.
Yeah, I actually was at dinner and one night and I asked for a beer and the guy asked me what kind and I don't remember. I told him the one I wanted and it wasn't the French beer and he was a little offended. But the French beers, they were not very good. I tried to they're like the Budweiser Coors kind of light lagers and all that kind of crap.
So you didn't make it to Brewberry, I assume. When you
No, we didn't make it to Brewberry. I should have. That probably would have had some good beers, and I'm sure there are good beers in France. But
so they had a beer called IPA Citra Galactique, which is from France and was quite good, from My Beer Company, which awesome name. And another one that I'm not sure if this was from France or not. I think it was. It was a dark smoked ale. And both of those are pretty good. The IPA was delicious. But I didn't see anything like that anywhere outside of Brewberry. Other than that, it was fizzy yellow beer.
Yeah. There was one bar that looked like it had a good beer selection that I walked by. But I didn't have a chance to go in because I was with the family and you're in Paris. You don't want to go try to drink beer. They were like, so I skipped it. So next time, Norwegian Air, I guess, is going to start having flights from Oakland to Paris direct. Gilly just got an alert, and she said they're at like $475 round trip right now. If you get them, so we were thinking about just booking them. $475 round trip for pretty much anywhere is a good price.
Yeah, I mean that's domestically that's a good price, and getting you to Europe is just amazing.
Yeah. So
especially from this coast.
Yeah, I'm paying considerably more than that to go to Hanover later this month in Maryland. So anyway, so France, I was like Jeremy said, fizzy yellow beer. That's kind of the norm at the restaurants, and then of course wine. If you want wine, you can do that. But England, I had a lot of really good beer in England. So. I tried to get something local. I actually, this is a good story while we're looking at topics. We stayed near Bath for 4 or 5 days. And I went into Bath and I was walking around trying to go up the hill to get a good view. And I saw a beer truck, like a van, like a large, not like a, kind of like what you would see UPS driving around in neighborhoods, kind of like that size.
Like a big box, man.
Yeah, but not too big because it's England and the streets are small, right? And it said Abbey Ales and it was like totally branded. And there was a guy sitting in the driver's seat, which is on the wrong side of the car, so it was right next to me. And I said, "Hey, is this the brewery?" He's like, "Yeah. You want to take a look inside?" I'm like, "Sure." And the local brewery.
Did your mother ever tell you not to get into a man?
No. He was parked. He was parked at the brewery, and I could see the sign on the building.
Going into the van to look.
No, not into the van. So yeah, they're a local. They have it's a 10-barrel brewing system that they have, and it's just like in the back of a building, kind of not on the outskirts, but not in the tourist section of Bath. It's up several blocks from the tourist section, and they own 4 pubs in town, and they just distribute locally. So I went to their pubs and had a few of their beers, and they were really good. They're like traditional English ales. So if you're ever in the southwestern part of England, look up Abbey Ales. Like Abbey as in like a monastery religious thing. Abbey Ales. They're very good. And he was a nice guy. So
very cool.
That was my good beer experience for my travels.
Yeah, I found last time we were there, we were just in London, but at that place you recommended, Gary, I found great beers. Euston Tap.
Yeah, that place is cool.
That was awesome.
I did not get by there on this trip, but yeah.
Oh, sounds like you did okay anyway.
Yeah. I mean, once you get out of London, you can find local pubs and stuff, and it was fun. So yeah, that's my beer, and I got lots of badges on Untapped, like Beer Traveler and Style and Bar Hopper and whatever those ones were, because I was lots of different locations and lots of different kinds of beers, and
and out of the country too.
Yeah,
it automatically ramps up, it seems, as soon as you leave your state or country.
Yeah, I think so. So anyway, that was topic one, our beers of the world segment.
There, in the uber local news for me, Webster Penfield area is getting a Witchcraft Brewing right around the corner from me, which I knew was going to be a little micro brew, but it was kind of going into this little strip mall, and I was just like, that doesn't sound that exciting to me with all the other cool stuff that's going on in this area. So, but I just heard that it's like opening this weekend, and in addition to their own 4 local microbrews, they've got 55 taps of craft beer there.
Wow.
So I'm like, whoa, wait a second. That's worth taking notice of. So,
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be swinging by there this weekend, and I may never leave.
You definitely got to try that.
The next show may be from Witchcraft Brewing on the floor underneath all the taps as a permanent resident.
Exclusively.
Yeah, that may happen.
All right, my Windows PC finally finished rebooting. I'm going to see if the webcam actually works on this one.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. It does. Holy moly. Okay. So we're going to have 2 of me, one with video and one with audio. How's that work?
Well, that'll be all kinds of ugly, I'm sure, because they won't sing. But let's do it.
Thanks. I'm in. Can you see the other me?
Yeah.
Hey,
right.
It's Gary.
Right. I'm there twice. I should
Awesome.
probably switch the microphone to the other computer and see how it works.
Well, this works for now. You can be both you and Rob.
Why don't I try that? See if
okay.
All right. My audio is going to go for a second here. Hold on.
Derp 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 derp.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
We can.
Oh, I can hear me twice. Let me close this other browser.
Probably, yeah, kill the other one.
That's so weird. Unsettling, making my stomach hurt.
Gary listens with his stomach.
Gary's stomach is funny.
So while you guys were telling those great stories, I was scanning to see if there was any interesting beer news.
Oh, shit, I lost it.
Or then interesting tech news, or then interesting news at all. And I'm at a loss. I found nothing exciting in the way of topics.
Yeah, it's been kind of slow. I mean, not. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything. Oh, Samsung is going to start selling the Note 7 Fandom edition. Did you guys hear about that?
Is that the exploding version now not exploding?
Yeah. So basically, I think that they had a warehouse full of phones, and they were going to lose a bunch of money on, and somebody decided it'd be a good idea to refurbish them and then sell them. So they're going to sell them in Korea and some other markets. I think
India was going to be one of the markets or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not here in the States though.
Yeah. So you can, if you know anybody in South Korea, you can have them buy you a non-exploding Samsung Galaxy 7 Note.
Yeah, it's actually, I was kind of hoping the refurbished ones, they'd ever actually fix it, and then they would bring refurbished ones here, because I would be interested in trying out a Note for a very low cost.
What's interesting though is that isn't the Note 8 supposed to be coming out like really soon?
Yeah.
Like before the next iPhone comes out?
I kind of think it's around the same time, but maybe it might be a little before.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it's weird because like I guess if you're a real fan of Samsung and you really wanted a Note 7, you would go buy a Note 7 now, a few months before the Galaxy 8 comes out. But man, it seems like, I don't know. Given the track
I think
record
all
of those
the
phones,
diehard Note fans are waiting for the Note 8.
yeah, especially since the Note 7s were prone to.
They probably all got,
explosions.
they've got like S7 edges when the Notes died, and are missing their S Pen and their bigger screens, because the Note is a monster of a phone.
If you're looking for a monster of a phone, it looks like Red's going to be releasing. Red, the company that makes the crazy movie camera that costs $10,000, is going to be releasing an Android phone made out of titanium for a cool $1,600.
Is that all?
Yeah.
That's a little steep for a phone. It's
Well,
a
it's from
a Red camera, but
it's from Red, so it's actually really cheap compared to all of their other products.
yeah, this is the lowest end product they have, I'm sure.
I wonder what the camera in that thing is going to be like. I mean, because with the Red, you would assume that it's going to be a really good camera. Like Kodak has a phone that's basically a camera with the phone built in, right? So that it's supposed to be a really good. Yeah, I actually
you would hope so.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if Red, if that's going to be their main selling point, or if they're just kind of going with the brand.
I would think it's got to be a minimum of a 4K recording camera to be from Red, because they were one of the first ones out there with that stuff.
I mean, iPhone 7 has a 4K camera.
Right. So, unless they're putting an actual zoom lens in it too, I'm really not that interested in it.
It's
like a real glass zoom lens would be interesting to me, but those always involve bump outs and big, knobs and stuff, which make the phone more or less a problem.
I mean, it looks good. I'm trying to look at it right now. I'll post this link in the chat so you can see that, Keith.
Yeah.
It would look nice with their cameras, and their cameras start $30,000 and $50,000. So
Yeah, that's true.
It would look good next to it.
It looks like they have one that's a little bit cheaper, an aluminum one for $1,195. So $1,200 you can get a Red one. The titanium one is $1,600.
Yeah, but really, do you want to advertise that? I don't know.
It's mentioned. So I'm not seeing anything here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Engadget article myself.
It
is a good size lens on it for a phone, but they managed to keep it pretty flat, which is good, I guess.
I think those might be renders, not actual product.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
probably. But usually those renderings are pretty good.
I kind of digging the scalloped grip on the side of it.
Yeah, it's a cool looking phone. It reminds me of like those fancy gaming PCs or gaming laptops where they try to make them look all
yeah.
to
hide the Celeron inside.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Nothing in this article about specs. So apparently it sounds like it's. Oh, this one says it has a holographic display.
I was just looking at that. This is supposedly got a holographic screen in it.
So help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope. Is
that'll be the first app. That'll be the killer app right there.
Well, if it does that, it's worth every penny of $1,600. If you can throw it on the table, and Princess Leia is shown there in full holographic glory. I mean, I'll sell off one of my children with it.
So apparently it's going to have some pretty interesting audio stuff, some kind of conversion of stereo into multi-dimensional audio. I want to see the camera specs on this one. So that's because to me being from Red, I would assume that the camera is the big thing, but so far all the information is not about camera; it's about other stuff. So. Holographic multi-view content.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
Sounds like somebody let marketing type.
It's actually, now that I think about it, it's not a bad idea for Red because, in the film and TV industry, they are a known brand for high quality, right? They're not a cheapo thing. If you want to shoot good video, I would venture to say that a majority of the most popular TV shows are probably shot on red gear, that are shot on digital equipment, not necessarily film. But if you think about how good of quality you can get now with the DSLRs, or even your iPhone or your Android phones have 4K cameras built into them, and the quality of the video that you can get out of really inexpensive equipment is pretty high.
Yeah.
So Red might be thinking that their niche market might be shrinking because people can do a lot with a Nikon or Canon DSLR for a fraction of the money that you can with Red, and the quality may not be all that noticeable if your main consumers are watching content on portable devices. Right? I mean, if you think about it, most video is probably consumed these days on a phone or a tablet. And do you really need the quality that Red has in their video products when your displays are so small? So,
well, you say that, but at the same time, camera displays or camera phone displays are getting bigger and packing higher and higher resolution into those small displays. So you're starting to get stuff that's back up to a 6 approaching a 7-inch size screen on some of this stuff.
But can you really tell the difference though? I mean, that's the thing is you're most of these you're holding fairly close to your face, or they're at most their arm's distance away from you.
Yeah.
So the quality.
But I think the advantage in that higher resolution device that close to you is what they're really starting to push on this, which is that holographic 3D display where you're going to start seeing those pixels used towards creating the illusion of depth.
That's where I was going. Is that I think the camera business. I think Red probably sees the camera business as not being where they can make their money, so they need to differentiate their product line, and they're going more into the display and the consumption of the content as opposed to the creation of the content. They've been all on the creation side, but I think they realize that on the creation side, from what their perspective of continuing to make money is going to diminish. So they need to grow revenue on the consumption side with cool things and display.
Well, and especially though, if the creation side can capture this, if you come out with a Red camera that can capture 3D motion not in a camera, but maybe provide content to that display. Now they've got end to end,
which is actually probably the product that wasn't leaked. These articles look like leaks that Red is doing. So this phone could be one end of the consumption end of the market, while they could have a product for creation that we just haven't heard about yet.
Yeah. Although 9 to 5 Google, I was scanning their article, and they've got really what I'm going to call the nail in the coffin for this phone. I'm just going to read one paragraph to you guys. Passing through the press release, so they did actually press release this. What we do know about Hydrogen 1 is that it will feature a 5.7-inch hydrogen holographic display. According to Red, this technology features nanotechnology that will seamlessly switch between traditional 2D content and holographic multi-view content, 3D content, and interactive gaming. Our best guess is that it could be similar to the display found on the failed Amazon Fire phone. So we're comparing this to the Amazon Fire phone, which is what, 2.5 years old now and didn't go anywhere?
Yeah, but Amazon has a track record of not doing great hardware products. I mean, the Echo. The Echo's been good.
They kill themselves.
Yeah, I don't know.
So here's an interesting piece of the release. It will work. It will be modular, and it will work as a monitor with their Scarlett, Epic, and Weapon cameras. The monitors for those cameras cost, let's see, for a 4.7-inch monitor, it's $1,450.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could buy this, use it as your monitor, and you get a phone for free. So that might be.
Yeah. So.
But can you get the Red camera without the monitor? Is it modular?
Yeah, it's all modular.
Oh, then beautiful. Then that's perfect for this.
Wait, you think you're getting a monitor for $50,000? Come on. You're talking crazy now.
Sorry. My bad.
So basically, this phone is for anybody that has a red camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
And it becomes
Okay, that makes
a
anybody
programmable accessory.
who wants you to think they have a red camera.
That too.
Because that's what I'd buy it on. I'd be like flashing that around, going, "Oh yeah, my gear's in the car." Yeah.
I mean, the rumors are that the next iPhone is going to have a model that's $1,000 plus. So if you look at the red camera or the red phone at $1,200 for the aluminum, and an iPhone that's plus, $1,000, you're not that far off in terms of price. So maybe red isn't.
And when you're already talking $800 plus for the highest iPhone now unlocked, $1,000 isn't really a big stretch.
Yeah. And there's people that are going to buy these on contract type things where they're paying for it over multiple years, and so it's not like everybody that buys is going to have to lay the cash out, because they're probably going to be
although with red, like Jeremy says, it's almost an impulse buy when you're buying $50,000 worth of camera gear from them. What's an extra $1,600 to throw in there as a second monitor to use?
Yeah,
and expense it out to the business. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah,
and they'll probably have apps for it that interface with the camera that let you tune settings, and with a convenient touchscreen. So it could actually work out really well for red users.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like the what was the phone that the guy that created Android that left Google started?
Andy.
The Essential phone.
Essential phone, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the red phone has more legs than the Essential phone.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in the Essential phone when that announcement came. It didn't really strike me as anything out of the ordinary as far as an Android phone, and it didn't come across as being any cheaper or having a better plan with it or anything else. So I'm like, okay, well, what did you do here? You just did Me Too.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we'll see. We'll have to see. I mean, I guess having a niche market for custom phones, or it may be not a bad thing in the Android world. I mean, Samsung kind of owns the mass market, but if you can build a phone that has appeal to a small segment but large enough to make money on, I think there are people out there that will much rather have a red phone than a Samsung phone, because maybe they're into film, or maybe they want that kind of display or something. So
yeah, that could work.
As I look more and more towards Android as an alternative to iPhone, really, Samsung's got the high-end market and they've got the low-end market, and the middle market is just a mess right now for Android in like mid-range phones and stuff. And it's kind of ripe for the opportunity for someone to come in there in the say $200 to $600 range for a good phone, and I'm surprised nobody's doing it. I mean, I realize this is probably a tangent, because Red's certainly not going to be the person to do that, but it does seem ripe for somebody to come in there and take over, and LG's not doing it, and HTC was in there, but they're not doing it. Lenovo's Motorola is the only one in that area, and they've got so many offerings, it's hard to tell what they're doing. So I don't know.
I think there's some Chinese manufacturers that haven't quite hit in the U.S. I can't remember their name.
Miso, and there's another one.
Yeah, there's a couple of other ones.
Yeah,
they could come in here and clean up that market if they wanted to.
Yeah, and that's what you can. You actually can do that now. If you go on to something like Wish or any of the overseas buying sites, you can pick up a phone that was guaranteed to work on AT&T or T-Mobile now for like $300, and it's a flagship phone that we won't see for another generation or two now. Yeah, which is interesting.
Well, I mean, if you get a phone that's essentially an unlocked phone that works on multiple networks, you're good, because that's what we did when we went to Europe. We just bought SIM cards in the airport And AT&T was going to charge us, I think it was something like $10 a day for international roaming, maybe more. But I mean, you multiply that by 5 phones, so I'm looking at a minimum of $50 a day for 2 weeks.
That's for limited data, and you'll blow through that data.
Yeah, we would have blown through that data probably in an hour, right? So it's like, yeah, it was totally worth it for me to spend. I think it was like 20 pounds a person to buy phone cards in the airport, and we didn't use up all our data at all. My one daughter's still over there, and she probably won't need to up her plan. And we just popped the SIM cards in right there, rebooted our phones, and we were off and running. So yeah, if you can buy a phone overseas and bring it to America, it's fine. Mine, I actually turned it on when we landed back in Oakland with the old SIM card, with the UK SIM card in it, and it cranked up on the AT&T network. So
yeah, I think that's the way to go, and I think America is right on the cusp of switching over to that. Even now, you're starting to see all the phones, even the iPhones, advertised as an unlocked price as an option.
Yeah.
So it's really about to start taking off as soon as we get some low-end carriers to start offering just SIM card only plans. And even if you dig around, you can find a few of those. I'm starting to look at some of those for my daughter. I've got an old 5S here that as soon as I figure out my daughter cannot piss me off for 2 weeks straight, I may give to her. So far, it's been 1.5 years of that, and she hasn't made it. So, but that's the nature of a 14-year-old, I think. But yeah, I mean, there's like text-only plans for like $25 a year. There's all kinds of weird plans out there now where you just grab an unlocked phone from somewhere or an old phone and throw that SIM card in and go.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm interested in. I'm interested in that. I'm also interested in the dual SIM. Apple doesn't do a dual SIM. It would be nice for me because I got to carry 2 phones to have my work SIM and my home SIM in one phone would be great.
Yeah.
Android does that, but there's nothing from Apple on dual SIM. So
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, that was pretty good for not having topics, huh?
Yeah. Thanks, Rob, for helping out.
We can work without you.
I finished my beer.
I finished mine. I've started up a second one because it was good.
Yeah, I opened the second one, and the nice thing about these is even though the hops are gone, the alcohol's still there. So you're 7.58%. A couple of pints of these really starts to feel much better.
Mm. Yeah, this is. I'm reading the trying to read the back of the can. Let's see. They say super fresh hop, which we don't have fresh hop. Excessively dry hopped, which we probably got a little bit of that flavor in there.
Yeah, we got the nose.
Of pine. Yeah, pine, resin, and mango are the flavors that they. Now I get the pine, I get the resin. I'm not getting any mango. I think that's kind of.
Yeah, they've always said that about Nugget Nectar, and I've never really tasted a fruit flavor in there at all, even on the fresh ones. So I'm not so sure about that. But again, we'll definitely get some 6-packs out come winter that are still current.
Okay.
That are still current. I'll just put shipping labels right on the 6-packs and just send them to you guys. I'm sure that'll work.
Yeah. You got a lot of beers into that box. I opened that thing up. It was.
I told
like
Hermione's for a while, and it got to the point where it got really expensive to ship, and I had, I didn't have the cash to ship it all. And what I should have started doing is just grabbing like 6 of them and sending them like once a month. But
yeah,
that would have been a lot smarter. But instead, I bit the bullet and just did it all at once to get caught up. And so.
I mean, we're probably set till Christmas at the rate we're going with show.
Yeah, that's possible. That was an awesome box of beer.
Everything else in that box is a lot more fresher than this. This was the only antique in the box.
Antiques from an antique. Thank you.
That's right. Says the man with the handlebar mustache.
That's the box.
A gray handlebar mustache.
Was those your daughter's Girl Scout cookie boxes?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They were great for shipping.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about shipping mostly cans is a lot less packaging is needed.
Yeah,
you're not.
they don't break so much.
Yeah. So I just kind of had to wrap the 1 or 2 bottles that was in there and go.
Yeah, that's good. Should we move on to picks?
We should, because it's been so long since I've been on a show. I mean, we haven't done a show in a while, but then I missed 1 or 2 too that you guys did. So I've actually got 2 picks. I've got one that's I've held on to forever, and then I've got a new one too, and they're actually related. So I'll pull them into one pick.
Okay.
And I could just go now if you'd like.
Well, don't you have some music to like?
Yeah, we're waiting for the bumper music.
Oh, music, bumper music. I remember that. See, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I did the Derpa Derpa song while you were changing computers.
That worked out. And Windows hasn't asked me to reboot again, although they put some bullshit icon in my mail. I'm not going to use your stupid mail app.
Actually, the Windows 10 mail app is not terrible.
Yeah,
as a default mail app, it's not terrible.
Wow, not terrible.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good for a Windows app. Oh, wow, it cut off. Wait, that wasn't supposed to cut off. Okay.
It's time for you to do your picks now.
I guess it's time for picks. Godfather has cut off the music on us. All right, so I picked from like 2 months ago. Do either of you guys have the Apple EarPods, the wireless headphones?
No, they look like people are walking around with cigarettes sticking out of their ear.
I know, but everybody who has them loves them absolutely.
I saw a lot of people in Europe with those.
Yeah. In fact, they're now selling accessories to tie them together so you don't look so ridiculous. Have you seen those? They've got like little rubber band ends that you can clip your EarPods together. It kind of takes the point out of them, but leads into the ones I got. I picked up a set of wireless earbuds from Anker, Anker, and they're available on Amazon. They make all kinds of like phone accessory type items, from battery packs, rechargeable battery packs, regular headphones, and these wireless headphones. And I got these on a recommendation from a friend. And for about $22, you can get a pair of earbuds with a controller on the wire on the side and a wire that connects the two of them, but that's it. It just connects from one ear to the other. So you can wear it behind your neck, or I wear it under mine because my neck's too damn big. But for $22, you've got really good quality earbuds that last with a battery that's not a huge battery. It's just a little tiny battery in the controller. Lasts 6 to 8 hours of playback time. A couple days easily of standby time, and is a pretty darn good microphone for when you're taking calls too. And I am just in love with these things. I don't remember the model number I have, but they're the ones that clip together magnetically, and they're like the Anker NR2s or whatever, something like that. But you'll see them in there. They're only about $25 on Amazon. The sound quality, if you're an audiophile, you're not going to be loving these, but for listening to podcasts, and if listening to low bandwidth streaming music, they are fine. In fact, they're very good, and I love them. I now listen to them in my car instead of my car stereo. I'll just connect my Bluetooth headset and put them in my ears and go. It's better sound than my Bose audio system in my car and easier to connect and easier just to wear around biking or in and out of work and stuff. It's just I cannot speak highly enough about those Anker headphones. I think before you spend $200 on earpods, spend $25 on Anker wireless ones and see if they'll do the trick for you, because I'm betting they will. Which leads me into my next pick, which is something my daughter got me for Father's Day, which is a little wireless speaker. And I know I've picked wireless speakers before on here, but they were always like $100, $150 ones. This one came from my daughter, so I'm not sure exactly how much it costs, but I'm thinking around $20. It's called the Unbound wireless speaker, and it is really nice. It's got this little solid carabiner clip on it, which actually I've laughed at first, but as it become useful as I clip it onto things like my hammock when I'm using this. It's water resistant. It's got a physical switch for on off. Little basic controls on it, but it's loud. It's clear. It doesn't distort. And for for something like Pandora, it's fine. For podcasts, it's great. And it's loud enough that I can hear it in the shower over the sound of the water. And because it's water resistant, you don't have to worry about it doing stuff like that. And it's a great little speaker for $20. You really can't beat it. And that's Unbound. I think she got it at Home Goods. If you have those out there, I don't know if you do.
Oh, cool.
So there's my two. Both Bluetooth wireless things, and I'm really digging them.
That sounds cool. I will concur on the wireless earbuds. I have a pair that is amazingly similar to the Anchor, but they're a different brand, and they were just a little bit more money.
It's possible Anchor is buying them from someone else, so they may be exactly the same.
No, I looked at the picture on Amazon of the Anchor ones.
Okay.
Like around that $20, and they're really close, but they're just a little bit different.
Okay.
But they have the magnetic thing and the same thing, and they're great. I use them at the gym. I listen on the plane. I agree. The wireless earbuds with just the little rope. That's great.
I was one that was concerned about the headphone jack going away on the iPhone, but with $25 options like that, I'm no longer concerned. And the nice thing is, how many times have your wired earbuds, you get that weird connection issue at the jack, where you got to wiggle them to keep them going.
I always catch them on something. I'll wear them when I'm working in the yard or something,
right.
And I always catch the cable on stuff, trimming bushes or whatever. And these wireless ones are great because they, you don't ever have to worry about that.
Yeah, I really can't recommend those Anchor ones enough. And at $25, I mean, they're basically the price of a not even a good set, but a mid-range set of replacement earbuds. So why not try the wireless ones?
Yeah, I agree. Those are good picks. So.
All right, so now I'm caught up on picks. What do you guys got?
I'll go next. I'll let Jeremy wrap it up. So I got some music. It's not new music, but it was reissued. So Radiohead, I found this in Apple's new release section on Apple Music. They re-released OK Computer. It's called OK Computer, OK Not OK. It's a remastered edition of OK Computer, which is a great album anyway. And they added basically a second album of outtakes and B-sides that just blends perfectly with the first original album. And I used to think that remastered was kind of a marketing gimmick, but what I learned over time was that they remaster things for the how people listen to music. So when LPs were originally made, there are limitations on the frequencies that LPs can produce. So vinyl can't produce all the frequencies. So when they remaster all the Beatles stuff for digital, they actually do remaster them to produce more of the frequencies and to have a wider sound ranges and stuff like that. So remastering for digital consumption, actually they kind of essentially tune it for listening over digital and streamed kind of formats, as opposed to a CD or a vinyl. So,
so remastering is for Bluetooth, for example, which is is actually probably a good thing to consider.
Yeah, it is. That's a good idea. So, I listened to that earlier this week, and it was great to listen to that album again and to hear the extra songs. I'm not a huge Radiohead fan. I listen to them, and I'll grab them every once in a while, but I'm not a rabid Radiohead fan. It's just sort of it's good music to listen to once in a while, but I would recommend the remastered new release of OK Computer.
Well, that's their 20th anniversary of that too, isn't it?
Probably. See, I'm not even a fan enough of Radiohead to know that number. But
1997 to 2017. So that's freaking 20 years old. That doesn't make me feel old. Radiohead's still
good. It's still a great album. And like I said, the additional songs that they added to that, at least the Apple Music edition that they provided, were just blended perfectly with the original track release. So.
Yeah, actually, when I saw that on your pick, I went to their website and downloaded it. So I'm looking forward to listening to that.
Yeah,
I will have to check that out too.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess that's my turn. My pick is a book called Cockpit Confidential. It's written by a pilot, and he has a website blog kind of thing called Ask the Pilot.
Yeah.
AskThePilot.com. So
I heard about
this is his most popular, the most popular questions he gets, along with his personal stories and his thoughts about being a pilot and flying, all in one handy book. It's really enjoyable, and I don't like nonfiction generally. It bores me. I'm really enjoying this book, and it's fun to read, especially if you like flying to begin with. Like if you like the idea of flying and you like the magic of being able to get on a plane and be, thousands of miles away in a few hours. It really captures that, and it's a fun read.
I heard about this a couple weeks ago, and I immediately went to the blog, he's got an active blog that this is all based on, and the blog is fascinating. The guy's a really good writer, and the way he candidly tells his tales of flying with basically the mass public is really intriguing. I read a few posts and I went, oh, I've got to get back to this, and I haven't been back, and this is a good reminder to definitely do that. I'll probably check out the audiobook of this at some point.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I like
it's a good read.
I think I'd wait until after I came back from Europe before I read it, but
yeah,
perfect timing for you.
Yeah, it's good timing for me. But probably don't want to see some of those questions and responses prior to. Yeah. Oh, look, I'm getting Slack messages.
Oh, imagine that. Weird.
Oh yeah.
Back channel.
That's really weird. I wonder who that's from.
Yeah.
I was actually had the stopwatch going on the show, and we are actually really close to time.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Well, we should probably wrap up our reviews then, huh?
We should.
Oh, yeah. I knew there was something I should do before I played the theme.
Yeah. I just forgot.
Between three of us, we equal like one Rob.
Yeah.
So Rob's the talent to produce the content and keeping everything together. So.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely, each of us has our role, and Rob, when he's not here, you realize how much of a role that boy does have. So, but yeah, Nugget Nectar, the 1.5-year-old aged version in a can. Says it's 93 IBUs. Yeah, maybe 60 some now.
Yeah, it's good.
But still a pretty decent amber ale. Worth drinking. I give the original Nugget Nectar probably close to a 5 out of 5. I'd say this is still a 4. I like it.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, that's like an 8.
Oh, are we on a 1 to 10 scale? So yeah, somewhere around. I'd say it's a 7 now, and where it would be a 9, 9.5 normally. So I'll peg it at a 7 on a 1 to 10. I really like 1 to 5 scales. I don't know why Rob talked me out of that.
Because everybody wanted to use half stars.
Yeah, I guess
everybody wanted to do halves. So.
Well, yeah, like Untapped, you can do quarter stars, right?
Yeah, now you can.
And that's still not enough to rate a bud. So I think I'm there with you with the fresh one on Untapped. I gave it a 4, so that would make it probably an 8 or a 9 on the PNR scale. It's lost a little bit, still really, really good. So I would go with a 7 as well. And I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with it other than I know what it would taste like fresh.
I think that goes to show you though too what you do when you're adding extra hops to an already good beer. Is we found the beer underneath and it's still a good beer. So the fact that when it comes out fresh, it gets up to 93 IBUs is just awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I rated this a 5 out of 5 on Untapped, and I cannot fault the beer for it being unintentionally aged. I mean,
for Keith holding it too damn long.
That's not what I said. Unintentionally aged.
I read between the lines.
So I'm going to give it a 10 because I think it deserves a 10 because it's
right.
Any beer that is designed to be served fresh and within a let's say like a probably like 3 to 5 month window, right?
Reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, and you drink it 18 months later and it's still really, really, really good and better than most beers out there. That's got to stay as a 10.
Yeah, that is a good argument.
I'm definitely throwing my 7 on an asterisk for the aging.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, that rounds us out to an 8. So that's still a really good score.
That is a good score.
Yeah. So next week, I think we'll have Rob back next week. So we'll have to talk and grab one of the other beers. And I don't have an order for these, so whatever you guys think you want to do next is fine by me. I should have a little story about each one and where it comes from and how it's made. But other than that, it doesn't matter the order.
All right, we'll sort it out in the chat room.
There's definitely a Radler in there, which is going to be awfully light. So if we want to do like 2 that week, that's fine too.
That would be good to do that while it's still warm.
Yeah.
The weather, not the beer.
Not the beer. No. Yeah. No, chill the beer. The weather warm. What's the weather like out there? I haven't really been paying attention. It's been beautiful out here on the East Coast.
You know what? It's really kind of harsh right now. It's been I don't know maybe close to 80.
Yeah. It was like 82 here today.
Yeah, that's really, I don't know.
For
that's
July,
really pushing it.
Rochester, we should be having ridiculous humidity and temperatures approaching 90. And it's been the hottest it's been in 2 weeks here at 84 today. So I'm loving the weather here. Most days are in the high 70s, and that's just perfect for me. I love
that is a good temperature.
I love high 70s.
It was pushing 100 in some areas around.
I was just last night, in fact, completely stressed out from work. I grabbed my little Unbound speaker. I put on Pandora. I put on Vince Guaraldi radio. If you don't know who Vince Guaraldi is, he's the guy who creates all the Peanuts music, but he's also a great like bossa nova and kind of modern jazz kind of stuff too. Great radio station to listen to. I clipped that to the hammock and I fell asleep, and it was the most lovely thing I've had in a long time.
That's awesome.
So there's a little bonus pick for you. Vince Guaraldi on Pandora.
All right. Keith, this is when you play the music.
This is when I play the music? Oh, damn it. You guys got me monologuing.
I'd rather have lager than lime. I'll take a strong stout over stride. I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale.
This is where Rob talks.
Yeah, he talks about something that's usually callback. I can't remember what he talked about. So
I don't know.
Really callback.
It's always clever.
Yeah.
Oh, next week we probably are on Wednesdays, so.
Yes, starting on Wednesdays soon.
For our live audience.
See you then.